Now, in episode 8, Javi didn't die from that explosion. He is knocked out a bit. It was a close call, but he survived. After getting back to New Eden, they radio to Big Alice that the route is clear, they can come home. And when everybody gets off Big Alice, they are greeted like heroes coming home. Shortly after this, though, a lot of the group has questions like, where's Alex? Where's Leighton? And Ruth tells them that they didn't make it, but it's just a long story. And she has questions like, where's Roach? And Osweiler says, I lost him in a storm. The only question, though, that Till has is, where's Audrey? Because this whole time, the only thing she's wanted to do is get back to her. Audrey, however, is a little bit reluctant to talk to Till because she's ashamed of how she now looks with those chemical burns. Till, though, could not care less because she loves her. Ruth then fills everybody on Milius, the mission, and the big question is whether Melanie and Alex are actually involved in this. No one's quite sure what to do, but they know that Milius and his men are on the way, or at least they think. They don't know the status of Milius. Osweiler actually suggests just abandoning New Eden, but they say no, we can't do that because Ben sacrificed himself so that we could have this opportunity. And Ben's death is hitting Javi really, really hard. He's able to push through this, though, reconnecting Big Alice's power to the town and firing it up. But the big issue is still that the town is going to eventually be attacked. Now, they think it's coming from Milius, and what they don't know is it's coming from Nema. Nema's been able to keep what happened to Melanie a secret from Alex, who is currently running the train. And while she's doing that, he gathers a group of Milius's former soldiers along with Dr. Headwood in a game plan on how to take Big Alice back. As they talk about potential options, Dr. Headwood says, just send Alex. It'll be fewer casualties. They're not going to hurt their own, and maybe she can convince them to give Big Alice to you. The other option is just exploding the bombs and burying the town. The good news for Nema is he has a little bit of time to decide what to do. They, though, aren't the only ones who are game planning on what to do. The next day, New Eden is doing the exact same thing, and Sykes has a great idea. They're basically to do what Leighton did down on floor 3. They're going to give Nema and his men one way in. That is it. But as Sykes is pitching this idea, there's a little bit of commotion. And that's because someone has shown up at the front gate. And to everybody's surprise, it's Roach. Not only is Roach back, he's brought Leighton, Josie, and Liana. And Roach is wearing one of Milius's men's suits. That's because the car that Leighton, Liana, and Josie were in was left behind, and they slowly started to freeze. As a last-ditch resort, Leighton radioed to the silo hoping to be saved, and they were, but they were saved surprisingly by Roach, who was kind of a Trojan horse at this point. Everybody's obviously relieved to see Leighton, Liana, and Josie, but everybody's really pumped up to see Roach because that guy just went missing out of nowhere. Once the commotion kind of dies down, Leighton gets together with Ruth. He tells her about Nema taking charge, and his best guess is they have 24 hours before he arrives. Because of this, they gather the town council. What they're planning on doing is moving Big Alice to the other side of town, right near the bombs. That way, it's a deterrent for setting those bombs off. Then they're going to do Sykes' plan of giving the group one way in, and they ambush them. One of the ways that this is going to work is someone's going to have to be monitoring the track switch. That's the key to this whole thing, and Josie volunteers to do that. Everybody knows the importance of this, and everybody knows that they need to get ready immediately. The first thing they do is move Big Alice. Josie takes command of the control switch, and she's even got security. Boki's going to make sure that nothing happens to her. When New Eden moved Big Alice, word got to Nema. One of the reasons why he wants to launch Gemini so badly is because the atmospheric pressure, this is the best time to do it, and if they miss this window, they're going to have to wait 5 more years. Now with Big Alice in the way of those bombs, it doesn't give Nema a ton of options. It kind of forces his hand to use Alex the way that Dr. Headwood suggested. He's even able to convince Alex to volunteer for this instead of telling her to go. So Alex, along with a group of soldiers, are going to head into New Eden covertly, and Alex is going to take Big Alice, completely unaware of the fact that she's getting played by Nema. While one engineer goes after Big Alice, another one is really concerned about what they just did. That's Javi. He doesn't think that moving Big Alice is enough, because if Nema and his men get Big Alice, Then they can just move Big Alice and detonate the bombs. Javi's adding a lot of undue pressure on himself because of Ben's sacrifice. He feels like he owes it to Ben to save everybody. So Ben didn't die for nothing. But this undue pressure actually leads to a breakthrough. Javi realizes that they don't have time to disarm all the bombs, but what they can do is change the frequency. So Javi heads off to see if he can do that. Everybody else in New Eden is gearing up for battle. They know that this could be their last night. With everybody gathered in town hall, Roach turns to Ruth and says, "The mood seems a little bit off right now. Maybe you should say something to inspire the troops." So she does. She says, "Hey, everybody, maybe Roach can entertain us with his tale of how he survived." And Roach just laughs, but he says, "Yeah, okay, sure." He's tried to tell this story a few times, but he's gotten distracted. The Cliff Notes version is, he fell, he was taken by the soldiers back to the silo, and he was thrown in one of those rooms. But when there was a commotion, he escaped. He was trying to make his way through the silo, he came a bunch of soldiers, he defeated all of them, and he stole some of their gear, posing as them, waiting to get back to New Eden. Roach is very charismatic with this, and it does change the mood in the room. The next day, however, Nema and Alex come calling. Now, Alex knows what she's doing is tough. She knows this is not a good outcome for New Eden, but she thinks that by doing this, she's actually going to end up saving a bunch of lives. So in the morning, she sneaks in, but when she goes to find the track switch, all she finds are Josie and Boki, and they're surprised to see her, but she tries to muscle her way into the room, and Boki puts a stop to it. Nema, though, had snipers positioned around New Eden, and they started firing. One of them hits Boki, and Alex starts to take cover, but one of the soldiers grabs her and throws her in the room, telling her to finish the job. New Eden's council wasn't planning on any of this. In fact, they were having a little bit of a toast to the fallen people that helped build New Eden, and that's when the fighting broke out. While taken a bit off guard, they were planning on this. They've been in fights before, after all. And when they get outside, they quickly realize that they are taking on sniper shots, but they also realize that they're in a fight for their lives. They all grab weapons that were prepared for them the night before, and they head out in the streets, but trying to keep their head on a swivel and waiting for Nema's men to strike, while also trying not to get shot. While New Eden starts to fight back, Alex is told to switch the track at gunpoint.
Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry, it'll be up in a day or two.